Welcome everyone to this session of EduBrite University webinar series. Today, we are presenting a case study from one of EduBrite's customers, Datalex. Myself, Ajay Upadhyay, I'm going to be the moderator for this session, and presenters would be EduBrite's Manish Gupta and Jeff Stivers, Head of Knowledge Management at Datalex. So Manish, I will hand off to you to drive rest of the session.
Yeah, thanks, Ajay. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm very excited today to be presenting with Jeff. My name is Manish Gupta, and I lead the business and account management efforts at EduBrite. So in today's session, we'll talk a little bit about the EduBrite platform, just a very high-level overview so that you get an idea about the platform and its capabilities and what exactly it is serving. We'll also discuss our integration with Atlassian products, some of its benefits. And the key focus today is going to be the use cases that are built using EduBrite platform and our integration, especially the Confluence integration today. And so we'll be basically Jeff would be presenting his side of a story of leveraging this integration and how he has enabled a successful training environment for his employees, customers, and contractor. And in the last part of the discussion, basically, we'll have just a quick few discussion points with Jeff. So let me go to the next slide here. So from EduBrite, essentially EduBrite offers a cloud-based learning management platform, and it's traditionally known as a LMS learning management systems. So using EduBrite platform, you can build the training, assessment, you can deliver the certification, and all these can be delivered for all different types of audience, depending upon whosoever is in your domain you would like to train. So you can create a full training ecosystem in EduBrite. And there are multiple components in EduBrite essentially that helps you to set up that training environment. The first and foremost, which is used, is the online learning, which is also known as a self-paced learning. So you can create online courses, you can create learning path, or a series of learning which are applicable for a specific job, a specific role, or what user is trying to accomplish. Those kind of things. In addition to delivering the online training, EduBrite also fully supports the instructor-led training. So whether you want to schedule some classroom training or whether you want to manage those training, post-training you want to issue some survey or any quizzes, you can do that. We also support the integration with variety of live conferencing tool like Zoom, WebEx, GoToMeeting, InExpo, ReadyTalk, and more. So the whole idea here is that EduBrite becomes a centralized platform to keep track of all training records. And in EduBrite, you can also bring the trainings. Sometimes some of the trainings are conducted or your learners go outside of the organizations to take those training. Those training records also can be brought in EduBrite. So it becomes a central repository. In addition to that, if you are to the next step where you are already conducting training, it's a little bit more mature process for you if you're a product company, software company, and if you want to offer a certification program for your customers, partners, we fully support that. You can set up those certification program with their expiration. You can award the badges. We support open badge 2.0 standards, so those badges are verifiable, socially shareable. Those kind of things can be done using EduBrite platform. We also support the full business of training, so you can set up EduBrite platform and enable the full online payment. So you can set up the online payment gateways. We offer integration with many providers. You can set up a subscription management. You can offer training, flexible training credits. So there are many things which you can do, essentially what would need for you to set up more like an extended enterprise environment using EduBrite platform. In addition to that, EduBrite does offer a little bit more beyond the traditional learning because we believe that anything a user has to do with the learning and training should be part of the your environment, and EduBrite offers those different components for you. So one of the component, as you can see here, is the learning community. So we believe in creating an engaging environment. So if you need to set up learning communities for your users, subject matter expert, or allowing them to collaborate with each other, or set up some cohort groups for them to interact, all those can be done using the learning communities functionality of EduBrite. And last but not the least, we also offer add-on called a SuccessX. And SuccessX essentially enables a micro-learning solution. So essentially, if you want to offer a bite-sized content, or if you want to reinforce the learning and just offer just-in-time content, when user needs it, they find it and they consume it, then essentially you can leverage this SuccessX add-on there. So all these various functions which I talked to you about from EduBrite perspective, our ultimate goal of offering this broad solution essentially is to meet the goals of any learning and development department, or the learning and development functions within an organization. So it's naturally the next question comes: what are their goals, and how EduBrite are serving those goals using these variety of functions which we offer? So these are the goals that L&D essentially is looking to train more employees, more customers, more partners. Ultimately, the goal is to have an educated workforce, or the people onboarded on a timely basis, so that if, whether say your employees or a customer, their adoption is pretty high of using those. You want to keep your learners always motivated and engaged. So we talked about some of the functions allow that thing. Ultimately, once you offer these different types of training, one of the goal of a learning and development team is to measure the effectiveness of a training. And training effectiveness is not only related to the learner. Of course, those are the big part. You want to make sure that what are they learning, how effectively their learnings are getting applied, how well you are reinforcing that learning. But beyond that, there's a measurement you need on the content also. So there are variety of reports and analytics that are available in EduBrite to measure the effectiveness of the content also, and because ultimately these two go hand in hand. In certain cases, when the compliance is of important, and you want to be a compliant organizations, depending upon what organizations you are, definitely you can meet those goals using the EduBrite platform. And last but not the least, since EduBrite allows you to deliver not only the online training or instructor-led training, also virtually, these kind of components, if are part of your overall training delivery, then it helps you reducing the training cost. So EduBrite platform supports the you can create a fully customized training portal using EduBrite platform, and this you can enable a single sign-on from whatever platform you are using. User can log into EduBrite, and then essentially they can have a great learning experience. But one of the things which we felt important is that beyond offering what we offer, it's important that to take the trainings or make the trainings available where the users are, take training close to the users. So no matter what system they are using, if we can make training available right then and there and provide a seamless experience, then naturally the adoption is increased. The hassle of user jumping from one system to other system is gone. So that's where one of the things which we have introduced, and we have been actually in the Atlassian marketplace for quite some time on this. So there are two different Atlassian products we offer integration with. First is the Jira Service Desk. So Jira Service Desk, essentially, if you're looking to train your customers who are using the Jira Service Desk and who are basically opening the issues, or basically trying to get some help and support, we offer integration with Jira Service Desk. So that allows your customers to be trained. Customers can have their own training dashboard, or customers can be presented their training when they are searching for issues in the customer portal. Or you can also basically train your agents, and agents also has an facility where they can review the training of the customers, what kind of the issue the person who has opened the ticket, see their training history and make some recommendations. So we have a separate webinar just talking about that available in EduBrite University, so you can review that. But in addition to that, the Jira Service Desk integration, today's focus is the Confluence integration. So Confluence integration, the purpose of a Confluence integration essentially, it is a knowledge base where people are already using it heavily for their work. If you can provide an integrated training delivery experience right within the Confluence environment, so users are inside the Confluence and they can have their own training dashboard right inside the Confluence environment, and you can deliver not only the formal training but also the informal training. Then it provides a wonderful experience. So these are the two integrations which EduBrite supports. And today the focus is going to be on the Confluence integration, which we are talking with Jeff. So what are some of the benefits of using Confluence integration? As I was talking in a previous slide, the main benefit essentially is you're using Confluence as a knowledge base, so you can enhance your knowledge base by offering the trainings within that knowledge base. So you can, these trainings can be an onboarding training. So depending upon which team you are part of, you can have your own personalized training. If you are an organization where the compliance is of importance, or some yearly compliance trainings are needed, then those trainings can also be provided using EduBrite. In addition to the formal training, the informal training essentially is a micro-learning solution, which we call it open learning in EduBrite. So you can have the bite-sized content, the videos and the documents, and available for users to quickly search, browse, filter, find it, and consume it. They can create their own playlist, or you can also have some of the featured playlists that you can push out. So essentially the idea there is to provide an experience which users are already familiar when they're using the variety of tools on the web. Of course, if you are delivering all these things, this whole experience becomes a seamless, because a lot of time users don't even know. Actually, in many cases, we know that the end user don't know that behind the scene, the trainings are being served from EduBrite platform and pulled inside the Confluence environment, because they just think that the trainings are available right there in the Confluence. So this helps in increasing the adoption and making it simple and easy for them. And of course, at the end of the day, as a L&D team or the manager of that user, you have a full tracking and analytics that are available to you. And this Confluence add-on is named as a Gilly, available in the Atlassian marketplace, and it is available for both server as well as the cloud version of it. So how do we serve this training inside the Confluence environment? So EduBrite has a list of a lot of macros, which allows you to use those macros and create a training environment. So first macro is a training dashboard that allows you to have a customized training dashboard, and different teams can have a different dashboard. So ultimately it is a training dashboard, but inside the dashboard you have a multiple options there, whether you want to enable instructor-led training, or whether you want to enable a calendar, or you want to enable self-paced training, those kind of things, and you can fully control it. So you can have either centralized training dashboard, or you can have a decentralized training dashboard depending upon your need. You can also have a course catalog where you can present the list of optional courses available for your learners, which they can select and self-enroll. You can also present the micro learning option to them using one of the macro which we are talking about. The user info macro enables and provides the users information, their personal progress, that how many courses they're enrolled into, how many programs they're enrolled into, how many they have completed, what are the badges they have earned, that kind of a piece. So it's a pretty good. I have a small slide a little bit later which I'll kind of will give you some quick idea about some of these macros, and Jeff will go in detail when he talks about his own environment. You can embed the courses in any of your Confluence pages. Similarly, you can embed the quizzes or surveys in any of the Confluence pages if you need to embed using the course player macro or a quiz player macro. You can also have a leaderboard. So if you have a team page, something, if you want to put your leaderboard macro to show who are the top learners, what batches they have earned, you can do that. And then there are a couple of other macros that are available related to displaying the program detail, LMS report, are also available. Those can be used. And last but not the least, macro LMS launch that also allows, in case you want your user to log in from Confluence but go into EduBrite to take platform to take their training, then there's a macro available LMS launch that basically single signs on user onto the EduBrite platform. And even if when the users are on Confluence dashboard, they're already single sign on through the integration, which we talked to you that we offer 2 integrations in that slide. So. And ultimately, with using all these macros, you can create a fully customized training portal in the Confluence and give the desired experience which you would be looking for. So this is just a couple of quick slides of a screenshot of that experience. So you can see here, we are showing the user's progress, a leaderboard is shown, or this is one of the customized dashboard with some of the tabs are shown. So this is just kind of a quick experience which we are showing. This is one way, and every customer create their own style of experience as needed for their own audience. This is another view. This is an open learning macro, which basically shows if you have logged in as a user, what are some of the recently viewed lessons you have, what are the lessons you are following, what are the popular. If you have a playlist, that will show up. So it provides a pretty great experience to the user. Now, from the use cases perspective, we essentially, if you I think it's a pretty versatile training use cases that can be built using EduBrite, whether it's a formal training, we talked about informal training. So I've listed some of the use cases here, like onboarding, compliance, ongoing training of your customer success team, or sales enablement training. When it comes to a partner and customer, I mean, you're always, if you're a software company or even if you're some other company, if your new product and new releases are coming, you're constantly training at them. So those could be some potential use cases. And in case you're offering certification, then definitely that is another one. So we come to the main focus of today's discussion. So I had an opportunity to connect with Jeff a few years back when he has shown the interest in leveraging the EduBrite platform. And initially, Jeff and his team started using our add-on Gilly for the employee training. And since then, we have come a long way. So without further, I'm going to invite Jeff so that you can hear from him directly. So Jeff, let me give the control to you.
Hi, Manish. Thanks. Okay, let's see. I have control. Yeah. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yep, okay, great. So hi everyone, my name is Jeff Stivers. I'm head of knowledge management at Datalex. My background has been in technology for travel and hospitality. I've been with Datalex for about 13 years, and at Datalex and at other companies, I've been responsible for product management, project management, and also knowledge management. A little bit about Datalex. We provide technology to airlines. You can see some of our customers down at the bottom. When you go to several of these airlines' website and you're doing booking, that booking flow that you're going through is what Datalex provides to them, and then we do a lot of the pricing and getting the fares and booking and payment type of stuff for them. So that's the main thing that we do, and you can see that we have offices scattered around the world. Our headquarters are in Dublin, Ireland. We have an office in Manchester in the UK, Amsterdam, in Beijing. We have a couple of offices in the US. So we're kind of spread all around the place. And that was important to us in selecting a platform that we could make available to people all around the world. Our primary roles in the knowledge management function at Datalex are to facilitate knowledge management between Datalex and our customers, and also within the organization. So those are our two primary groups that we provide services to and provide content to. And then another one of our, as part of that, one of our roles and one of our goals within the organization is to take existing SMEs and what's in their brains and trying to get that out of their brains into some kind of training content so that we can create more subject matter experts within the organization. And a learning management platform or learning management system was important for us to do that. So in looking for an LMS system, there were several key drivers that we used. One was at the time in our team when we were looking at this, we really didn't have any learning management system experience. So we were looking for a platform that we could easily get up to speed on, that provided good training content, and also we liked the people who we were dealing with. Then we were looking for a primary delivery platform. We were currently using Confluence to do a lot of that, but we didn't really have learning management capabilities from Confluence. And then also we were looking for a platform that we could experiment with without having to put a lot of investment both in cost and in hours to get to a point where we could actually evaluate the value of a learning management system to the company. And then the other thing that was key to us was we didn't want to introduce a new system right out of the gate for our users, our user community. We wanted to build a learning management capability within an existing knowledge environment that we already had. So all of those things were important to us, and EduBrite kind of ticked all of these boxes for us. In looking at our staff, 95% of our staff accesses Confluence on a daily basis. So that was the platform that we felt made the most sense, that if we could enhance our learning capabilities within Confluence, that's what we wanted to do. And then also with the integration that EduBrite offers, we didn't have to send our users to another system. They didn't have to do another login in order to have access to it. They could just easily access content right within a platform that they were familiar with. So that was important to us. We have two primary delivery platforms. One we call the Learning Center, which is our delivery platform for our internal staff, both our own employees, and then also we have contractors that work for us. And then we also have a user community of our customers that we're responsible for providing content to. And we call that environment the Academy Portal. So the Learning Center is currently implemented within a Confluence server environment that we run for the company, and that's where all of our internal users access Confluence capabilities. The Academy Portal is presently in a Confluence Cloud environment, and that's where we publish both some of our Learning Center or our learning content out to our customers, and also that's where we publish all of our user guides, administration guides, some marketing slicks, API documentation, that kind of stuff is available to our customers via the Academy Portal. And of course, our staff and contractors also have access to that environment too. So The EduBrite system supports both of those platforms for us. We use a single EduBrite microsite that powers both of those for us. So we can create a single course within EduBrite, and then we can share that course in the Academy portal and in the Learning Center. We don't have to create two courses. If it's a course that we want our customers to see, then we create it once, and then we can make it available to both customers and then, of course, to our internal team too. We found that the functionality that was provided in EduBrite is highly functional. We can do a lot with it. I'm regularly getting in contact with them and saying, I'd like to do this. And they tell me, yep, we can do that. And here's how you configure it. So that is always good for us. We like the course creation and management capability that's supported within EduBrite, and also that it supports a wide range of content types. So in publishing out to our customers, we're pretty picky about how that content looks and what we want it to be. Most of our courses that we publish out to our customers are produced in Storyline. For internal purposes, we're not quite as picky about how our content is produced. We want it to be quality and we want the information to be good, but in some cases we do voiced over PowerPoints that we distribute from within the organization, or in some cases it's a document that we want to make available to people in the Learning Center. So for us, the idea that EduBrite supports a wide range of content types was good for us. And then also we do mixed media courses where there might be video, there might be course, or there might be documentation, and there may be a PowerPoint all contained within the same course. The other thing that we like about EduBrite is the user management and tracking. So with some of our internal content and also content that we want to expose to our customers, we want to be sure that we have control over that, so that some of our internal content, we don't want our contractors to have access to it. So using user groups within Confluence and then mirroring that in EduBrite, we're able to manage access to things. And then also the tracking aspect, to be able to see what courses people have taken. We haven't done a whole lot of testing, but we have done some tests, and a lot of our courses have quizzes. I call them feel-good quizzes at the end. If they've gone through the content at any level, they can usually pass the quiz and get their certificate. So we do some of that. We've done a couple of courses where it was kind of certification testing, and that's something that we're looking to get more into. And then, of course, the integration to Confluence was important to us. And then also, EduBrite supports the capability for the user enrollment to be automated, so that we don't have to go through the process of registering each user in EduBrite when a new user comes along. All we need to do, and all our IS team does, is make them have access across all of our systems, including Confluence. And when the user initially hits the Learning Center page in Confluence, their account is automatically created in EduBrite. And that saves us a lot of time and a lot of administration effort. So that was a very nice feature that was available to us. So this is what our Learning Center looks like, and I am going to close PowerPoint and actually come over to a live. Can you still see my screen, Manish?
Yes, I can see, Jeff.
Okay, good. So this is our Learning Center screen. And you can see here, it's just a page within Confluence. We've got some information up here at the top. You can see that we implemented a page in Confluence about working at home during the virus time. We've gone to fully working at home across all of our offices. We have a featured course that we make available. When I click on this, it actually launches into the EduBrite browser. And then also we've implemented what we call within here, we call them programs. And I'll drill down into one of these. I'm going to go into our onboarding program, but you can see we have a whole series of different programs that are available to people with various types of content that is behind this. So if I go into the onboarding program, you'll see a series of courses that we have that are available to people. Here you see a series of mandatory courses that we want everyone in the organization to take. Here's some recommended courses that we want people to take. And as I scroll down, you can see there's a whole lot of content here that we want people to go through when they initially join the organization. And many of these are linked to and launch a course in EduBrite. So if I go into Datalex NDC overview, you'll see that it launches the EduBrite player. And then I can start the video and go through the course. You can see this is just a very simple course, doesn't have a lot of different modules within it, and they can watch the video. So each of these various links that you see on the page launch courses in EduBrite. So our users don't have to navigate anywhere outside of Confluence in order to access these. So I'm going to go back to the Learning Center home, because the other thing that's available to our users, you can see our series of programs that we have. The other thing that is available to our users, which Manish referenced, is we do have the Learning Center dashboard implemented here too. So not all of our content is exposed in these programs at the top. So sometimes managers have particular courses that they want users to take, and using the dashboard, they can come and they can find those courses that the manager wants them to take. So that's kind of an overview of how we use EduBrite within Confluence. Manish, was there anything else that you wanted me to talk about while I've got this open? Oh, sorry, Manish, are you there?
Sorry, I was on mute. Jeff, so you talked about...
No worries.
So I know you talked about a learning center. Do you want to a little bit at least talk about the Academy portal also, which in that case you are using? So in this case, you are using the Confluence server integration. In the other case, in the Academy portal, you are using the Confluence Cloud integration, right? And both are connected to a single EduBrite platform.
Yes, they are. And so this is our implementation. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, they're showing me some nifty new stuff that they've done for me. How can I get out of this? Sorry. I don't want it. Anyway, that's what our Academy portal looks like. I can get, yeah, this is what our Academy portal looks like. And you can see here that we have the Learning Center implemented in the Academy portal. And if I go into it, you'll see that we have a series of courses that are available to customers. Yeah. So.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So fantastic.
Okay.
Jeff, thank you very much. Appreciate you giving a quick overview of not only about the environment, but also giving an opportunity for us to see the both environment. So I'm going to take the control back here real quick, and then we can go to some discussion points here. So give me a second here.
Sure.
All right, so we'll just... So there are a few questions, definitely, as Jeff, you have embarked on this journey. When we spoke several years back, that's when originally all this discussion has started. So there are a couple of questions I would like to ask you. So what are the gaps in Confluence essentially at that time that drove you to look for a LMS, and how do you think EduBrite has filled those gaps?
Sure. Yeah, so the primary gap I guess we had was that we didn't have tracking of our users and how they were accessing the training content, and if they were completing the courses. We just had no information about that. So, or well, we could have gotten some information, but it would have been nowhere to the detail that that's available in EduBrite. The other thing was that we didn't have the capability in Confluence or a nice capability to create a course that had multiple lessons in it, particularly if the different lessons might have been based on different media. So if we wanted to build a course that contained video and then a voiced over PowerPoint and some documentation, that just was not a good user experience, I guess would be the way to do it. Yes, you could do it in Confluence. It would just be kind of, I'll use the technical term here, hokey. It wouldn't look very good. Yeah. So those were kind of the two things that EduBrite brought to us. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And as I was talking to you just a couple of minutes back, that one of the things was pretty interesting that always comes to my mind is that why did you set up like a two platform? Do you have any kind of just some comment or thought process behind that?
Yeah, well, Confluence was something that we have been using for probably 10 years. So internally, we had been using it. So it was only about 5 or 6 years ago that we decided that we needed to have a portal for our customers to be able to access our administration guides and training guides and that kind of stuff. So when we started down the path of looking at implementing that, we decided at the time that we didn't want to build that into our internal instance of Confluence. We wanted it to be completely separate.
Okay.
So that was kind of driven by our IS team. So that's why we went down the cloud path at that time. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And just for everybody's interest, I think definitely you've been using this for some time. Would definitely like to a little bit hear from about your journey, starting with having a Confluence server integrated with EduBrite, and then another Confluence cloud platform came that also is connected to the same environment and allows you to still separate out the training deliver. I'd like to hear a little bit more about your journey and how it has helped the overall ecosystem of Datalex.
Right. So yeah, as I mentioned early on, when we started down this path, we weren't even sure that we needed or really wanted a learning management system. And so looking at various options at that time, anybody who's looked at these things knows that there are some that just the startup costs are very high, even if you do get a demo environment or whatever. Anyway, so cost was an issue for us in the beginning. And then as we explored EduBrite and looked at the capabilities and compared it to some of the competing systems out there, we felt that EduBrite, particularly at the time that we were starting with this, had all of the functionality that we needed and much more than we would probably implement. And there's still a lot of capability that we don't use in EduBrite yet. So we started out small. We started out experimenting. We built out, some solution in-house or in the Confluence server environment, and then that kind of took off and grew. We were mainly focused on our onboarding in the company, and now some of our teams have been building onboarding content for specific roles. And then the other thing that's important to us is this, I use the term just-in-time training. So we want our user community to be able to access content right at the point that they need it in doing their job. And because so many of our users access Confluence on a daily basis, that was a good place to put it and to have it. And it's turned out to be a good thing for many of our users, that they can access learning content. They might have gone over it months ago and they need a refresher or whatever, and it's right there available to them. So that's hopefully that explains kind of our evolution. Yep.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And that naturally takes to the another question that you talked about a journey. So what are the next things, some of the things you are thinking down the road?
Right. So the next thing is we've been talking a lot internally about there are some technologies that we have developed that we want across the organization people to be knowledgeable about, and we're talking about building a series of certification courses on those that would range from salespeople and project manager kind of level stuff all the way down to a developer and what they need to know about it. So building a more robust testing environment, I guess would be the response. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well,
yep.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you for answering those questions. So I am going towards the last couple of slides on the conclusion here. So let me just quickly go over this conclusion slide. What I spoke and what you have seen from Jeff essentially is that the EduBrite LMS platform and its Confluence integration allows you to turn your Confluence into a customized training portal, and that's what we have seen not only for employees but also for your customer partners, whosoever using the EduBrite platform or whosoever is using the Confluence. One more thing I wanted to point out here, which is not the use case we have discussed today, but a lot of the customers are also using EduBrite platform and the Confluence integration both in a way that their employees access the training in the Confluence because of this integration which we discussed today. But if the customers are not accessing the Confluence, then you can allow these customers directly to sign into EduBrite using, maybe you may have some customer portal, they can single sign on to EduBrite platform. So essentially you will still have a single EduBrite environment. You can still separate out the content, what content is authorized or accessible for which audience, but a single environment can be delivered directly as well as an integrated in a Confluence environment. But in Jeff's case today, we saw that you can potentially have two Confluence portal or a single Confluence portal, and you can train your multiple audience. And ultimately, you can deliver the full learning experience. So whether it's a formal training, self-paced, instructor-led, virtual instructor-led trainings, these are the terms used in the learning industries, or the informal learning, whether it's a micro learning, social, mobile, all those kind of things are fully supported. And just from the licensing or usage perspective, EduBrite offers a full flexibility. So you don't necessarily have to have the same license what you have for a Confluence. So if you have you want to train less users what you have in Confluence, we are flexible from that kind of a licensing scheme. Or if you are looking for a higher number of users, as I was giving the example that some users are logging in through Confluence and some are directly, that is also fully supported. So it's a very, very flexible not only the platform, but overall the licensing and the support team, a wonderful flexible support team which is always ready to help you and assist you. And these are some of the ways you can be connected with EduBrite. So you can connect us through the users community, or we also have built the EduBrite University using our own platform. So you can go to the university.edubrite.com and you can find a lot of video tutorials, resources, knowledge-based articles about EduBrite, and keep checking there for release notes about some of the things which we are working on. And of course, you can if you are in the list, you will get the listing of the blogs, or you can directly go to the blogs.edubrite.com to see our comments or what we are sharing related to the new technologies or the newer trends. And you can follow us on the LinkedIn or the Twitter at the handle @EduBrite.